Good day, everyone. This is Nigon of the forums, along with Master Footman and another good friend. And today we're here to continue our Hero Compare series to go over the new mom hilt and some other good things. So let's go. Here's the pommel from the Romans Balanced Gen 1 Hero as it comes from the factory. You can see the visible gap as it does not close all the way. The Gen 2 Romans Balanced does not have this issue, as seen on my hilt here. The pommel fits up snugly. However, if you look here to my second Gen 1 Romans Balance, you can see that the pommel issue has been fixed. To make this fix, you need to remove a small amount of material behind the end of the threads on the pommel. That's the material right here. I took it out to my TAG mini lathe, and I was able to remove this material in less than 5 minutes. If you did not own a mini lathe, small jeweler's files would work as well, though it would take a bit longer. And now, the moment everyone's been waiting for. Opening and revealing the new Mom Hero from 7 Chambers. Upon opening the Mom, I was again super impressed with the packing quality of 7 Chambers and Varsity Labs. I bought this secondhand and was still more impressed than most new hilts I purchase. After pulling the hilt out of the box, the quality of the materials and the detailing can easily be seen. If that's not enough, the hilt comes with some extras like different necks and a solid display pommel. This is a complete package, and it isn't even the Elite Edition. My hilt originally came with the uneven cannon grip, which is great quality as well, but I wanted the idealized version, so Adam Days was nice enough to trade me. So now, let's measure the lengths of all the hilts. And I will be measuring the lengths from the end of the pommel, the flattest most part, to the flattest part of the emitters on all these hilts. So starting here with the Ultimate Hero, which is known to be slightly undersized. That one you can see is about 25.6 centimeters. Then going down to the Romans Gen 1, and the Gen 2 will be the same dimensions. So this is 26.8, about 26.8 centimeters. And then we can go down to the Creepy Uncle, and you can see this one is about 27.5. And then finally the Mom, and that is about 27.7 centimeters. And the last difference in the lengths, let's look at the emitters. So the Ultimate is 21.96, and the Romans is almost exactly the same. Now the Creepy Uncle, though, you can see is much larger at 29. That's more like the episode 8 style. And then if you go back down to the Mom, you can see it's 23.1. So now let's talk about the differences in the construction. And I specifically want to focus on the neck, because I didn't talk about that as much last time, and there's big differences in between them. Most of these hilts, they all unscrew here at this section, and then the pommels all unscrew at the back. And that's the same as the Mom. Like the cubes stay on as part of the hilt, and just the little back part unscrews, and you can see it pops off. So what differs mostly in construction is with the necks. So the Ultimate Hero, I don't want to spend too much time on, but you can see it unscrews here, whoops, it unscrews here at the top, but that's not the only way the neck is secured. Through the entire small neck, this very long piece, which also holds your heatsink, if you're going to do an in-hilt LED, threads completely down in there as well. So it gives you almost like a secondary neck. It makes it a little bit stronger. I think it's pretty nice. The only problem is if you want to do like a pixel and your clip doesn't fit here, probably what I'm going to do is just cut this off, cut it flat, and then machine like an indent for like a screwdriver so I can screw it in. since there'll be nothing to grab at that point. So that's the Ultimate Hero. Now the Romans, this is the biggest downfall with the Romans, I think, is that it doesn't screw here in the same way. This part unscrews, and that's fine, but the entire head doesn't thread. The head is only threaded on by the heatsink unit, and you can see it's much smaller. And so that's the only thing that keeps this onto this part, is this heatsink. And while that makes it so, hey, you can machine your own head if you want to. So like if you do get a Gen 2 and you want to machine a smaller emitter like this, you can do that because there's no threading on the emitter. So that makes it easier for you to do at home. But the downside is this makes this a lot weaker. This is not a very strong connection here in this head. If you hit this with the blade and hit it too much, this will definitely could bend out of shape. So the Romans, I believe, is kind of the weakest construction just for that section. Okay, then next we have the Creepy Uncle. It too unscrews the copper, well, brass in this case, unscrews. And then this is just double threaded. So this brass piece itself is threaded and threads into the emitter. And the plus of this is a little bit stronger and easier to deal with. The negative of this is that it does make it difficult for someone like me. I would like to just machine a custom emitter that's more like this, but it would be very hard because now I'll have to actually get this threading exactly right what's here, or strip away this threading and go to some new threading that I could machine at home or something. So it's a little more difficult for customizers, but for strength, I would say it's kind of medium between the Romans and the Ultimate. And last but not least, let's look at the neck of the new Mom. So the Mom, first of all, it has a difference in the emitter because the emitter, they give you this detail emitter top, and it unscrews, and there's a whole second top that accepts the blade. So that way when it's in display mode, it looks really cool. I do like that. So with that off, you can see the entire threaded inside part here is like a big slug. And then your emitter goes on that. So you could custom machine an emitter because there's no threading on it. So that would be not too difficult. That's good. And the other neat thing is, and that's why they send you like 3 different versions of these if you get the Ultimate kit. There's this one, which is like the rose copper. There's a pure brass, and there's one that's just aluminum that you can paint. And what's neat about this is this part is not threaded at all. It just slips on, as friction fit. And then when you screw this all together again onto there, just friction fits on. And this, this does screw onto here, but then the head is friction fit onto there. And what I like about this is this makes it not only for their feature of being easy to change, but this is a very strong slug, and it's going to be a very strong system. The only downside is to screw this tight, they give you just these 2 like nubs, and I guess you're supposed to put rods in there and twist it or something. I would prefer if there's just like a machined flat thing here for like a flathead screwdriver, which I may do myself. That'd be pretty easy to do. So now my final thoughts. All of these hero hilts are great hilts. The only one that works being more like the skinny, kind of like a skinny flex or a slim version like one Replicas does. So that's going to be a nice one to install to just use around. I'll just do a really simple install on this one. The Romans, of course, you know how much I like the Gen 1. The Gen 1 is a great hilt. It's perfectly sized for me, in my opinion. Not too small, not too big. Really good detailing. Just a great hilt. Creepy Uncle, I really like the construction. Their neck construction is very good. Simple but good. And it's just a really well thought out hilt as well. The downsides being just that the emitter being bigger like the episode 8 style. I wish there was an easier way to fix that. And then, of course, the brass coloring of this hilt. I really do not like that brass coloring, but I do think some paint would fix that. And finally, the Mom. And the Mom is just like the best, most amazingly thought out hero hilt that has ever been built. That's the only way I can put it. It's just perfectly thought. It's the most accurate that I've ever put my hands on. But in my final thoughts, so what is my ranking in terms of my favorites? Well, I just got through saying that this is the best. However, to me, this is a same case as what I feel about episode 5 and episode 6. Episode 5 is the best Star Wars movie. It hits the right beats in terms of villainy and good versus evil, and the pacing and comedic timing being perfect. It is by far the best classic movie that you can really think of. But episode 6 is still my favorite, just because of the emotional attachment I have to the film, to Luke becoming a Jedi, the struggle with his father. So even though it's not quite as good as the movie, has some pacing issues and stuff, it's still my favorite. That's what's happening here. So even though I will tell you this is the best hilt, the mom, my favorite is still the Romans Gen 1, and I think it's just the emotional attachment I had. It was the first hilt that I ever got my hands on that was a Luke hero that really felt right in my hands, not undersized, not oversized. So it is my favorite, but a very, very close second is the mom hero. And so I do highly recommend the mom. And honestly, if you can get a Romans Gen 1, I really highly recommend that, but they're getting really hard to find these days. You can only get them secondhand. He only made very limited numbers of the Gen 1 before he switched to Gen 2, which is what he currently sells. And so that is my review. And all of these hilts are really good. I recommend them all. And honestly, I can't wait to get all of these installed. And this will pretty much conclude my hero compare series. In the future, if a new hero comes out, then I definitely will do another compare. But at this time, I believe these are all the heroes that I'm going to be installing and dealing with. So until you see a completed video, that will be the end of the heroes for a while. All right, thanks again, everyone. I hope you find these compare videos helpful, and I will be talking to you on the forums.